they drifting on the beat.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of TalkNSupes. I'm Ed from Ways of the Sith, and with me today is my co-host.
Ande, what's going on?
We got it. We nailed it. He waited too. He was waiting. If you can't watch the video, you'll see it on the video. Ande was like perfectly trying to time it to get this right.
I needed to wait for every sentence to come out, but you know what? Even if I fuck up, I feel like we did it better that way because
it's a running gag now at this point. It's part of the show. So welcome back, everybody, to another episode. Thank you so much to those of you that have been tuning in. If you can, please make sure to like, comment, and subscribe on the YouTube videos. Leave a comment. We'll always get back to you. It helps with the algorithm, allows more people to see it. Same thing on Apple and Spotify. If you're listening to the podcast version, please make sure to leave us a review because it does help more people to see it. Before we start this episode, I just want to say we lost a good member of this community and somebody who was a listener of this podcast. My friend Brian from Brian's Action Figure Reviews. He was a longtime YouTuber. He did a show weekly called The Culture Cast that brought a lot of people together from all over the world and really united us. We had a group chat that we were all a part of and pretty much talked every day for like the past 7-8 years, something like that. So it's really cool to see like what you can do with the community, but it's an unfortunate thing that we lost such a great dude. And our thoughts and condolences are with his family and his friends. I just wanted to say that before we started, but we do have a lot to talk about this week. Daredevil season 2, we got some more episodes. So what are you thinking?
So this episode, we got the first two new episodes of Daredevil, 2 and 3. I'm loving everything still so far. One of the things that I absolutely love about this, and they even showed it in the last episode, is like I just love the camera work of when he is getting like honing into his senses, where like it zooms in and kind of gives it like this like IMAX look where the whole screen fills up and you can like see everything. That shit is absolute cinema to me when I see that. And I say it every time. I'm like, I just wish the whole show can look like this, just from like a cinematic view of it. Like that would be so awesome.
So I did hear that specific thing last year, I guess, when they tried it on the thing, they were doing it in post-production. So basically it was something that was done while they were editing it, they were zooming in. This year, they're actually changing the camera lens and zooming in the actual live shot. So that's why it's got that different feel to it and look to it, which I thought was pretty cool to learn. They're also doing the same thing with Bullseye, with the blue light like in his background now. When you see Bullseye,
that was awesome too.
It kind of changes to that like blue rose filter, and then that goes back to the original origin story of him from the original Netflix series of Daredevil. So I thought that was a cool little touch that they incorporated in. I have heard that basically once we get past episode 3, which we just did, that it's all gas and no brakes from the rest of this season. I heard that
about episode 4. Yeah,
I hope that's
they say episode 4 is the best one. That's what they're saying. I don't know.
Yeah, I heard episode 4 and episode 6 or episode 7, like right before we get to the end there. I hope that's the case, that it's all gas, no brakes. I can do without a little bit of the relationship stuff. Like that kind of took me out of these 2 episodes.
Well, I liked it enough because, you know, you get to see how down Karen really is to be with the cause, and you see that she's really like being serious about it. She's learning how to like actually fight and things of that nature,
and a lot more influenced by Frank Castle. Than Matt, you know what I mean? Like,
yo, that's great.
Like her logic is more in line with what Frank does and what Frank thinks, and she thinks more like, no, Frank's doing it the right way. Like, yeah, he's taking these guys completely out. You're leaving these guys alive.
Yeah, that pisses off Daredevil to hear her to even talk about him like that. It's just like his conscience just can't fucking get away from Frank.
I like the you know, seeing Vanessa and Kingpin and seeing their relationship, and you kind of already can foreshadow a little bit where that's going to go and how this is going to go for the season, I think. I would not be shocked to see Vanessa end up getting killed by the end of the season, especially because she's the one who paid Bullseye to kill Foggy and, you know, set up all this stuff in motion. She's kind of still playing both sides when you're watching it. So like, I'm interested to see how this is gonna go.
She's haunted by Bullseye and I forget her name, but Daredevil's ex is haunted by Muse, and that whole situation there, where it's like, is she trying to become the new Muse?
That's what I was wondering. I kind of think, I have a feeling like, because she keeps seeing him and she keeps like carrying the mask around and having homages. So like, that's where I think this is going. I think we're going to see her like become Muse by the time the end of this season happens, which at first I didn't care. Like, I think episode 2, I was like, why are we doing this? And then by episode 3, I was kind of like, you know what? I kind of like her story a little bit. And I like if that's where they're going to go, where like, because of what happened to her, because of the PTSD and because of like her trauma, she's almost relating to her. It's that disease, like where you get kidnapped and you relate to your kidnapper. You know what I mean? Like, so it's kind of cool to see that transition and like almost very Harley Quinn. You know what I mean? Like to see her take that standpoint. So like, I'm cool with if that's the way they go. She's been compelling, and Gandolfini to me is still like, I care a lot more about that storyline with him and his girlfriend now that we got the reveal that she's the one behind the Kingpin videos.
Yeah,
like,
and
him warning her, him knowing that
knew
it's her.
Yeah, we should have knew that it was her, but like to actually see that it was her and how she's even, I don't know how she's able to do that voice, because that's crazy how she can be so on point.
I'm wondering if it really is the actress. Like, is it really the actress doing the imitation, or do they have like Ross Marquardt or somebody off the side like doing a Vincent D'Onofrio? You know what I mean? And it's just a voice.
Yeah.
I'm wondering. Because if that is like her impression of him, that's spot on. Like she does a fantastic D'Onofrio if that's the case.
The way they are imitating life in that too is crazy. It's like super on point.
Yeah, it's a lot of, you know, the same rhetoric and same things that are taking place now in the world today. So it's very timely. That's one thing that I said, you know, last week about watching that post podcast interview with the director and Brad Winterbaum. I thought that was so interesting, and I thought that gave us so much insight into like this season of the show and like what they want to do and what they have planned for it. That like I'm hoping, like I said, that these first couple episodes have been like a slow ramp up, but I think we're getting to that point of like that final fight was awesome. I like the swordsman now. Like, it was cool to see him be a badass and like take out dude and like fight. You know what I mean? Like, we didn't get to see that in Hawkeye, right?
1000%, you're right. And to see him throwing sticks and metals and to free all those people out was dope, because at first I was like, dang, he's really not gonna get any justice here. So to finally see him get his get back with Daredevil, and that fight scene in general, like, oh my god, what cinema that shit was. Like, when you thought it was over, it just kept ramping up more and more and more, and that was amazing. Like, I had to rewatch that episode a couple of times because it was just that good.
Yeah, I like that ending. That ending for me was like, all right, cool. I didn't. One thing I will say that kind of had me question. It was like, okay, Karen's car's just outside, and then they just hop in the car and take off, like, and the people don't follow Karen's car. Yo, that was a little bit. I was like, oh, wait a minute, man. Like,
yeah. That, and when Angela showed up and she fucking, like, she's like, what are you doing here? She's like, oh no, I just want to help you, blah, blah, blah. And then she helps them rally up all the people, and then they get everybody in the van, and I'm like, how the fuck did she scratch the tire? Like, they were shooting at everybody.
So I had a couple logic complaints with this whole entire thing. First,
that scene was weird. That scene was crazy. But there's a lot of things that
hear me out on this. Daredevil gets the information from the girl who basically tells him she felt water dripping, she felt a breeze, she heard some doves, and she felt the door. So like, her describing that to Matt knew exactly the location based off her description of that, which was wild to me. I was just like, wait a minute, that makes no fucking sense. Like, Matt's blind, okay, but like her telling him, oh, I felt this and I knew this, and it just was weird to set up, especially because like Matt almost made it seem earlier that he knew where the place was and he didn't know how to get in. Like, oh, there's so much security there, it's top. But then all of a sudden, little white tiger gets in there, no problem. Like, she just walks right in and it's like, oh, I'm here to help you guys. And it's like, all right, so which one is it? Like, is this place top secret and hard to find and like really enforced, or is this place just like somewhere along the docks and like they can just stumble upon this place? Like, so I did have issues with those things because those were my nitpicks where I was just like, this doesn't really make sense. I'm sorry. Like, you could try to make it make sense, but it doesn't.
That was so crazy, dude. Like, I didn't understand that when we were watching it with my Nerdland crew, and we were all just thinking that, and we were just like, how the fuck did she get over there to scratch the tire when there was like 5 or 4 dudes shooting? And also, like, how did everybody make it into there too? Because you telling me just the front of that van is what blocked them from getting in there?
It's an armored truck,
it was
apparently.
crazy.
Yeah, it's an armored truck, apparently. So like I did have issues with some stuff, obviously. I like
that scene was a little weird, but it's whatever. It's comics.
I like the fact that, okay, like as we talked about when we knew we were coming into the season, we saw the wanted poster for her, so we knew she was going to step into the role as like the new White Tiger.
Oh yeah,
my guess is Jessica Jones next week, or this week, I should say, right?
She's got to be coming up.
Because there's only so many episodes left. Like, you got to have her kind of show up now at this point, because if not, then if she's just like a cameo at the very end, I'm going to be mad. Like, I know she's looking like she's going to be a more bigger part of season 3. There's lots of videos of her on set currently. Also, we got the news that Luke Cage and Danny Rand are on set for season 3, so it looks like the whole gang is getting back together.
Fuck my life.
It bums me out too, because like I said, the way they ended Defenders, Colleen Wing had the Iron Fist power, so like, to me, I would have much rather seen Jessica Hemwick come back and be Iron Fist for this show, especially just to have another female as like part of the group. She's the much better actress. She's more attractive. I'd much rather see her than Finn Jones.
What are we doing? Like...
I hope with the time that like Finn can maybe grasp this role a little bit better. Maybe years ago where they were doing it, it was a Netflix thing. It wasn't connected to the MCU. Maybe he didn't think like it mattered, his portrayal. So I'm hoping that like this time he understands that like you're now part of the MCU. This has like, to be like a really good performance. Get your shit. I would like to see that. Like I've seen him in Game of Thrones. Like he did put on a great performance in Game of Thrones as Loras Tyrell, and like so I would like to see a little bit more of that. Hopefully this if he is coming back. We didn't think Luke Cage was coming back. Even the Luke Cage actor said he wasn't coming back. So it's like kind of a surprise to see that he is back. I hope we get Elektra and Misty Knight as well. Like,
oh my god, dude! Don't tease me with that, bro. If we get Misty Knight back, because we were getting such a great depiction of her towards the end of Luke Cage,
and especially her and Colleen together, getting them together. Like they're a big part of the Miles Morales book currently in the comics. Like they're the ones who pretty much like are Miles OGs. Like she, Colleen taught Miles how to fight with the sword, and Misty like has been teaching him other moves and stuff like that. So like it would be cool to see them kind of be part of this whole thing, especially Elektra. She's another phenomenal like actress, and I really would love to see her come back, though, especially the way they ended Defenders. Like she's out there, we know she's out there, like easy to bring her back. I am looking forward though to seeing more Bullseye. Whenever Bullseye's on screen, that's kind of when my attention is like peaked. It's like this dude is so good and such a good actor.
They teased us with him these last 2 episodes. Like you thought we were gonna get more of him, and they just I don't know. They're building up the suspense of how not caring. Veronica is kind of like afraid of him basically, and they're building up that suspense. So like you'll see him, and then they'll go to her origins of why she is feeling the way she is. So
and that's
can't wait to see more of him in action.
That's what's leading me to believe he's going to kill her by the time this season is over. And that's how you get Fisk. Like, because once she's out of the picture or something happens to her, you split them apart, and the whole empire falls at that point, because he's going to be so consumed with rage and blinded by her that he's not going to focus on anything else. So, like, if that's the way this all goes for this season, and that's his downfall, is Vanessa ends up getting killed, or, you know, getting an assassination attempt of some sort, I think that's probably the good guess of, like, how Kingpin falls. You know what I mean?
Facts. Yeah. Also, just want to say, like, Charlie Cox and, like, his whole, like, the way he's taking in the character of Daredevil right now, he's, like, completely, like, leaning into it. And I just feel like he knows he is the ultimate version of what the character can be, and he is, like, owning it to, like, its highest peak. And I'm loving it, because you could just see him. Just scenes in this. I think it was, the second one, where he's fighting the dudes when they break into his house. That he's just like, he's just so confident in being the character, and I love to see it, because, you know, we went through some shit to get a Daredevil, a good Daredevil at least, or we were on the edge of, like, will we ever see him again and stuff, and to see him be, like, so confident.
You were getting him back. Yeah, like it
Yeah,
always,
to
you
see
always
him so
kind of knew that
confident
you were
is
going to
great.
get them back. He's a great actor in this role. My gripe with this show is that, like, they seem to lean on every season of, like, him not being Daredevil, or, like, focusing too much on Matt and just not on him being Daredevil. And there hasn't been a good balance of that, I feel, in any of the seasons of this show. Like, even going back to the Netflix version of the show, there was always, like, those gaps where, like, oh, he can't wear the suit, or, oh, he's not going to be, you know, we're going to focus on this Matt storyline. And not for nothing, that's the least interesting part of Daredevil for me. It's like, I'd rather see these badass fight scenes. I'd rather see him and Bullseye, you know, teaming up and doing some shit. Like, let's ramp up the action a little bit more. I'm hoping for the rest of these episodes, because that's been my, like, only gripe. It's a little slow. It's tough to, like, all right, come on, guys. Like, all right.
Well, that's what I liked about the episode 2, is because majority of it, I think, was him in the suit. And even, like, the scene where, like, you see how quick he went from being at Josie's bar and hanging out with Josie, and then as soon as they came in and they were about to take her, he was back in his suit. Like, it was, like, almost like Superman, how he switches to his suit, and that was nice. I like that. But yeah, I'm loving the season so far.
Like I said, I'm hoping it ramps up. I think it will, hopefully, especially. It's funny, like, I'm almost more anticipated now for season 3, based on, like, these, you know, bringing the Defenders back.
Oh my god, the leaks!
Hopefully,
I hate that we get leaks like this sometimes.
Hopefully, bringing, you know, Elektra and Colleen and Misty back too as well. Like, to me, that would be the way more interesting thing, especially if we can get them all, you know, in. I know they're not all going to be in Spider-Man, because season 3 won't be till next year, obviously. But it would be a cool way to see all of these street level characters come together and, you know, see where it goes from there.
I know Elektra becomes Daredevil at some point, but do you think, because of the way how they're dealing with Karen and stuff like that, they make her that?
Oh, you think Karen would take that role? No, I think my guess would be Karen probably would die before the end of the season. Like, that would, or maybe next season.
Yeah.
She dies in the comics.
Yeah, I was about to
spoiler alert, she does. But
yeah.
I would, now that you speak about, like, the Elektra becoming Daredevil storyline, I would love to see that in part of this show, because, like, I love her in her current costume, like, in the Daredevil costume. I think it's such a cool iteration of the costume. And then Matt has, like, his little Shadowland, like, costume that's kind of similar to hers. So, yeah, it would be cool. I would like that, honestly, to see. But, like, I'm happy with her coming back in any shape or form. Like, I did see her post pictures on Instagram recently, and she's in the gym. She's working out. Like, she's got, like, an 8-pack, and she is like, in peak physical shape. So I'm wondering if she's, like, already teasing, like, hey, guys, I'm coming back.
Yeah.
Because that would be a lot of fun.
Crossing my fingers and dotting my T's, hopefully.
Speaking of females that are badass, we got the Supergirl trailer this week. I liked it. I'm not, how do I say this? I'm not so excited for this like I was for Superman.
Yeah.
I love the story. I love the comic. The Tom King Woman of Tomorrow book is absolutely fantastic. And this looks like it's going to be pretty close to it, but movie wise, I don't know if this has enough to like sell a general audience on like, come see this movie like Superman did.
Yeah, that's the thing that I find like I don't want to say that it's corny, but I just didn't like I don't know. I'll say I feel indifferent because the whole thing of like with James Gunn is like he tries to be like well, I don't want to say he tries to be because he is. He wants to be like the fan. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I know. But it's just like they told you from the beginning that this inspiration from this movie was from Woman of Tomorrow. And I just feel like because they're pushing that narrative so much, and I even see like Tom King saying like, "Oh, doing signings and like, yeah, this is the book that's going to be based off of Supergirl movie," which is true. But I don't know. I just feel like it's a little gimmicky to an extent to me that is making me like feel the same way you feel about the trailer. Like they keep throwing the Lobo thing, and I keep saying Lobo, and I'm like, I'm seeing him too much that I'm like I feel like I've seen him already. Like I'm cool off of the Lobo stuff already.
He's not in the movie a lot from what I've heard from the fan screenings. The people who have already gotten to see some of the fan screenings. So that's probably why they're throwing him in
the trailer so much.
Yeah. The villain they are sticking with Crag or whatever his name is. That is like the villain in the story. They just changed up his look a little bit.
Yeah,
I think that's kind of. I think that might be my problem with it. He's not really like a strong villain. He's not somebody that like, he's not a Brainiac. He's not a, big time villain. He's just kind of like a random dude. And like, the story is beautiful. If you've read the comic, if you're familiar with like the graphic novel, it's a fantastic Supergirl story. I don't know, like. I don't know. I almost feel like if you were telling me this was just coming to streaming, I think people would be hyped for it. Like, all right, come on, let's go watch this. But as far as like it hitting a movie theater and like wanting to go see it in the movies, I don't have that like immediate like, oh, I gotta go see this. It's on the top of my list. I have a bunch of other stuff that's like above it. You know what I mean?
You know what also sucks about it too is because we're kind of still in limbo with what's happening with Peacemaker and just the whole situation with DC in general, to be honest, that we don't know.
We don't know. We don't know what's going to happen.
What's the sequence here after this movie? Like, you know what I mean? So, it's a weird time, and like, it's a weird time.
We know the Superman movie is going to be filming because it's about to start filming. So that could be the last piece of this puzzle. But again, after that, we don't know what happens. And I kind of think that's going to affect this film. I did hear some other stuff. Millie Alcock even came out and like talked about, I guess she's been getting a lot of hate because it's a female-led story. And I just want to emphasize that's not the thing for me that's like keeping me not excited about this movie. Yeah, I thought the trailer was good. It looks good. It looks very Guardians of the Galaxy. Like it looks like...
Thank you. Because that's exactly what I was going to say. I was going to say a lot of people in the beginning was saying, like, this looks like Guardians of the Galaxy. But the thing, and then we even talk about the villain. Like, if you think about the villain from Guardians, it was Ronan. And Ronan, I mean, in the comics, yeah, he does have a lot more things to do with it. But in the spectrum of the MCU, he was more of like who we don't really know him that much to be a great villain until they added the Thanos piece to it. So it made him bigger than that. So... it's crazy how much people was like, this is like Guardians of the Galaxy, but we're not trying to. I don't want to compare because it is a totally different movie, but it's the more and more I see, the more and more it looks like it. Yeah.
Well, like visually, it looks like it to me. That's kind of my thing. True. Is like visually, cinematography. It looks like it's shot very similar. It is a fun space adventure story. There is a heart to this, and you really get to flesh out Kara's character and Crypto's character. You get to see how much she loves this dog and how much, she'd do anything for it.
That part I'm not ready for.
Yeah,
they're not ready for the Crypto stuff. That's gonna take me to water.
And I wonder if leaning on that twice, like you did that in Superman, and I wonder if leaning on that twice is gonna backfire on them to where like people are like, well, you already did this, so I don't really care or I don't really relate to it.
I mean, they're doing his puppy version of him.
Well, there's two versions. You basically see him as a puppy when she first gets him, and then you see basically him later on, because it's, and you're going to see Clark in this movie. He is in the trailer. So, again, not that it was a bad trailer. It's just, not at the top of my list for like movies that I'm excited about. Like I will watch it when it hits streaming. I don't know if I'm going to like rush out to the movie theater to go see it, and if that makes any sense. It's not that I don't want to see it. It's not that I don't think it's going to be good. I think it's still going to be a good movie because the story and the source material is absolutely fantastic.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think just there's so much other stuff that's like a top priority for me to go see that like this kind of just gets shoved down the list a little bit.
I feel you. I'm on the same page too. Like, this is a little bit more juice to it. I don't know. I want it to come out before I can see it, and I can just know where we stand as far as where we're going next with it. And yeah, that's just where I'm at with it. I want to see it.
Again, like I agree with you on the fact of if we didn't hear about this Paramount deal, I think my excitement still would be there because I'd be like, "Fuck yeah, let's go!" Like, not saying I'm not gonna go see this movie. There's high chance that I'll probably still go see it, but like I said, it's just priority wise. It's like, all right, I'm okay if I just catch this when it hits streaming or pick up the Blu-ray when it comes out, like rather than rush out there. But we'll see. I think maybe if they give us a little bit more heading into the movie, I'll be a little bit more excited. I really like Millie Alcock in the role. I think she's like a perfect casting for Kara, especially her cameo in Superman. Like I thought that was perfect. I loved it. When she came on screen, I was so happy. I was like, hell yeah.
Same.
Like, so it has nothing to do with like the character. It has nothing to do with it being a female lead. It has nothing to do with any of that. It's just I don't know if like this is a building block to your DC universe. Like I just feel like it's a cool story. It'll be fun, but you have other characters that probably should have got the priority before she did or before this story did. I think not having a Batman, I think not having a Wonder Woman.
I was just about to.
Sorry, like I loved Superman. Superman was one of my top movies of the year last year. I loved everybody he cast in that movie. I loved the Justice Gang. I'm here for it. I'm ready for Lanterns to come out and get Hal and get John. But come on, we need Diana and Bruce, and we got to get this team together because again, for all we know, after this next Superman movie, this whole DC universe could be over and done with before it's even started. And I think that might have my interest a little bit, like weaning about this of not knowing, like, does this even matter? Are we just going to have a complete reboot again when Paramount takes over and somebody else in charge? Or, and that's the unfortunate part about this. Like if that news never came out, if this was going to Netflix and there was like a guarantee of we knew James Gunn was sticking around, I wouldn't have any issues. But I think with the uncertainty of like, will he quit? Will he not quit? Will this partnership even work? This deal still could not go through. We talk about it all the time. There's so many variables involved in this Paramount deal. Like there's still a huge possibility that deal does not go through, or that this was the ultimate play by Warner Brothers and David Zaslav. Like that they knew this deal wouldn't go through, so they agreed to it so they can get the payout. It would be the smartest thing in history if that's how this all worked out. That's how I'm hoping it all works out. But I think there's a lot of variables as far as, what happens with this DC universe going forward.
And the only time will tell, so we shall see.
And another trailer that was revealed was the Masters of the Universe trailer. Now, I'm on record on this podcast talking about I'm not a MOTU fan. I didn't grow up a MOTU fan. I missed it by a couple years. So the only thing I'm familiar with is I remember the original movie from when I was a kid with Dolph Lundgren. And then I really like the Kevin Smith Netflix shows because I don't have any attachment to the previous material. For me, this Masters of the Universe trailer looks good. Like I'm kind of here for it.
A lot of people go ahead.
I know visually it does look almost like a toy commercial, and like but I think
that's a good analogy.
I think that's how they like. I think they're trying to pay homage to the original series, because essentially that's what the original series was. It was a cartoon series that was a toy commercial every week, so that they could get you to buy more toys for your kids. And I feel like that's what this is in a movie form. Like when you saw the shot of Castle Grayskull and you saw that, it's like, oh yeah, they're gonna replicate that in a Mattel Castle Grayskull that you can purchase.
Exactly.
And I've seen shots of their new figures for the movies, and the new figures for the movies look fantastic. And I think this is going to be the new direction they're going in. So I do feel like it's correlated between the two. But I like the trailer. I thought it looked good, and we don't have to see Jared Leto in the movie, and we don't really have to hear him.
That's a plus.
I hope he doesn't ruin it. He's been known to ruin a lot of movies that he's in.
I know, dude. So that's the thing I like about this movie too, as well, because the way I was introduced to He-Man was through the toys, and I used to see the commercial, and then I used to watch they used to have the cartoon on like Toonami at that time too. So I used to watch it during that time. And so, like you said, you hit it right on the nail when they show the castle and they show everything inside and all that. It reminded me when I used to have the castle, and I used to play with my toys like that way and stuff like that too. So it hit me, and that's what's been driving me into wanting to see this movie as well. A lot of people I know also have been saying the same things as you said, where like they don't like that they like it's him on Earth coming back to the He-Man universe. It's just, why can't we just be all in universe, like off rip? Which I understand that too, because it's like the same thing. But it. I'm cool with it either way. I'm a little biased because I'm into He-Man just based off of nostalgic reasons. So like the fact that we're getting a more like a more cinematic and not like the Dolph. I never seen the one that you were talking about, the original He-Man
one.
movie. Yeah, I never seen that one. Yeah,
it's bad. It's pretty rough.
That's it's
an 80s movie. Yeah.
Yeah, so to get something more serious and have some more like prominent, like good CGI and all that good stuff, I'm excited to get that and see that. Because for the longest time, we were supposed to get like a Thundercats movie too. So like this is like hopefully in the steps of maybe going that way.
That's another one that I have no attachment to. I know Voltron is coming. That's going to be on Netflix.
Yes.
But I did hear that like the whole Jared Leto to me that was the one thing where like I don't know why you necessarily cast Jared Leto to play Skeletor when you could have just hired Mark Hamill to do the voice if he's all in the suit the whole entire time anyway.
Yeah, that's true.
I did hear though that part of Leto doing the English accent is to show that he's related to He-Man's parents, because he's He-Man's uncle Kaldor. In his human form before he gets transformed into Skeletor. So I heard like that's the reason why they went with the English accent, is because the actors who are playing his parents have English accents, so they wanted to correlate the two and like give you that. I don't know if it's going to be a part of the story, but obviously they wanted to have some semblance between the two of it. So it's something different. And I could see like wanting to make him serious rather than having be like this cackling, He-Man, like, like, I get it. Like, I get it. You want to have an intimidating villain that's like, gonna scare people and gonna show you. So like, I'm cool with that. If that's like the logic behind the choices.
Oh shit! I didn't think about those films.
And Mark Hamill did a fantastic job. But Mark Hamill did a fantastic job in like the Kevin Smith version of it, doing the voice. So like that's why I was saying, I was like, I'm surprised you didn't give Mark Hamill a call. I'm also surprised they don't give Mark Hamill a call for Batman 2. Supposedly they're having trouble casting Sebastian Stan's father, he's playing Harvey Dent. And why wouldn't you just get Mark Hamill to come in and play Sebastian Stan's father? They look exactly alike. Like it's a no-brainer to me. Right? And apparently they've been through like 3 or 4 big time actors to play the role. And I'm just like, why hasn't nobody called Mark Hamill? Like, if Mark Hamill wants Sebastian Stan to take over the Luke Skywalker role, so like, what a perfect way to correlate that and like, hey, have him play his father on screen and call it a day.
He wants him to do that. That's crazy.
Well, they look alike. They're spitting image, and like Sebastian Stan. There's fan art. If you Google like Sebastian Stan as Luke Skywalker, there's fan art of him, and it's perfect. Like, I've always said that like you should be recasting Luke, Han, and Leia at this point, and continue to do stuff with them. And you have the actors right here. Why not just do it? Like it's a fuck the CGI shit. Like get real actors and do it for real.
Especially when you have somebody who looks the part.
Perfect. Like and would be aged perfectly for Luke at this point in his life. Like Sebastian Stan could play Luke for the next 20 years and tell the stories that you want to tell between, the end of Return of the Jedi and the beginning of the Rey legacy. You know what I mean? Like you could perfectly fill in that whole time gap with these actors, and you have them here. And like you have Carrie Fisher's actual daughter. Like just bring her in, and you have the guy who played young Han Solo. Like it's already there. Just do it. I don't understand why it's so hard.
And it also be kind of funny too because Sebastian Stan plays heroes who are handicapped, so he would play another character who's handicapped,
losing an arm. Yeah, well, losing an arm is Winter Soldier, and losing the hand is Luke. Yeah.
That's actually that's crazy. The correlation of that, how he fits those parts so well.
Speaking of Star Wars, we are pre-recording this before the Maul Shadow Lord episodes drop, but we have 2 episodes of Maul Shadow Lord dropping, and the final trailer was revealed for this. I have to say, on record here, I think this could possibly be the best Star Wars TV show ever done. This animation looks fucking so clean and incredible. The characters look amazing. There's so many new characters that are involved in this show that I'm excited about. I'm very excited about Gideon Alden playing Devin Azara and how that story is going to go. I think this has the potential to be really, really awesome. And we got the tease that Vader is on the hologram talking to Marok. So, we're getting him. He's coming.
A boy was on the money.
I love that. When I saw that in the trailer, I was like, fuck, yes, this is how. And I love how they're calling him the Shadow, and this is how he's going to get the nickname. Because in Rebels, when the Inquisitors come across him, that's what the 8th brother calls him, the Shadow. He doesn't refer to him as Maul. He doesn't refer to him as anything else. He just calls him the Shadow. And I love that because this is the Shadow Collective. This is the, beginning of it. So it's cool to see how like that's going to impact Maul's future from here on out of that. And I love that we're getting the Mandalorians, we're getting other Zabrak that's part of his clan. So I think this is going to be fucking awesome. I'm so excited for these first 2 episodes.
This show looks absolutely insane. Like it has a mix of looking really gritty and also really clean at the same time, and
like a horror movie almost.
Yeah, and it has like an edginess to it, but a clean edginess to it. I don't know. It's a weird visual expression to like explain, but just seeing it, you'll know exactly what I mean. But I'm super hyped to see where we go with this with Maul, because for a long time he was a forgotten character, and to see him have his spotlight be put out there now is gonna be great. And we're gonna get a lot more Sith people coming into the Star Wars universe pretty soon. So I cannot wait.
This did get officially announced for a 2nd season already before the first season even aired. From what I heard, the original plan was 3 seasons to begin with. So I kind of think we're getting all 3 seasons. This could go further if it does phenomenal.
And a true sequel.
Yeah, I did listen to a bunch of interviews with Sam Witwer this week. I listened to a really great interview on Sky Talkers podcast. Shout out to them. They had Sam Witwer. They did a roundtable with Sam Witwer and Gideon Alden and talked about the role, talked about different things with the 2 characters, and how Maul's, we're going to relate to Maul's passion and his reasonings, but maybe not relate to his vengeance necessarily and like his need for revenge. But we're also going to feel sorry for him and relate to him, because apparently from what Sam said, you don't need to have watched anything to come into this show. That they're going to explain everything you need to know about Maul in this show. So I'm guessing we're going to see, you know, flashbacks to Savage Opress and him dealing with losing his brother and dealing with, you know, being cut in half and dealing with being cast aside by the Emperor. Like, I can't wait to see how this all unfolds and to get that look into his insight, because the one thing about Darth Maul that is especially the way Sam Witwer plays him is the fact that everything he says you kind of agree with. It's just, it's not that it's right or wrong. It's the way Maul like presents these half truths and delivers it, and it's like he believes this to his core, and the way he presents it to you, you feel so believable where you're just like, you know what? He's kind of fucking right. Like, I kind of agree with him, even though, like, yeah, he's technically a bad guy, but he's right. Like, you know what I mean? Like maybe you don't need to kill all these people, but yeah, some of them probably do deserve to die. He's right. Like,
yeah, you're right.
It's cool too, because I hope they touch on Mother Talzin. I hope they talk about like his upbringing, because a lot of people don't know Maul was basically taken as a child, so he was just a baby when he was taken. There's two species of his kind. So you have the Zabrak, and then you have like the Dathomirian Zabrak. So Maul was actually like
those witches that like.
So those
they were in the Jedi, the Fallen Order.
Yeah, so Dathomir is where the Night Sisters are, and Mother Talzin is the leader of the Night Sisters. The Night Sisters were pretty much wiped out at the end of the Clone Wars. General Grievous goes there, slaughters pretty much all of the Night Sisters. From what we know in canon, Merrin from Fallen Order is one of the survivors of that massacre, and Morgan Elsbeth from Ahsoka and Mandalorian is one of the other survivors of that. Now, as we saw at the end of Ahsoka, Thrawn is coming back with all of those Night Sister coffins and the 3 Night Sister, you know, witches, and basically they're going back to Dathomir to repopulate the planet. At this point, the Night Sisters pretty much are all gone. Ventress and Merrin are out there somewhere, and Morgan Elsbeth, obviously. But I don't know if they're going to have any role in this whatsoever. We do know that from Rebels, Maul kind of set up Dathomir like he basically used Mother Talzin's cave as like his hideout, and all his artifacts, and the Darksaber was there for a long time, like just hiding in this cave on Dathomir. So I'm interested to see how all of that's going to play out, because Maul was basically taken as a child, a little baby, and he was given the tattoos as an infant. Mother Talzin took a liking to him and took basically, she saw what he was going to become. She saw the power that this child, this little baby had. And Palpatine basically ends up like taking this kid from Mother Talzin, because him and Talzin develop a relationship. So it's going to be cool to see. And he was basically like tortured. Palpatine basically like tortured this kid and made him hateful, made him rageful. So like the person Maul hates the most is Palpatine. Like and then to the fact that Palpatine's the one who killed Savage in that final duel in Clone Wars, he hates him even more. And like the one important piece of the story we are missing, it's unfortunate that they never went back and did this, and maybe with one of the Tales series they'll end up incorporating it and showing us this. But at the end of Clone Wars, because the show technically got canceled, we were supposed to see how Maul got broken out of Palpatine's palace, because the way the duel ends with Savage, Palpatine kills Savage, basically takes down Maul and puts Maul in like a prison someplace. The group of Mandalorians, the Mauldalorians, are the ones who go break Maul out. There's a graphic novel that basically shows that whole story. And I feel like that's a vital part of the story that's like missing, because then when you get to the Clone Wars, when the season came back and they did the final season, you have the Siege of Mandalore, and like all of a sudden Maul's back and he's got the Mandalorians on his side, and there's some missing pieces to it. So if you read the Son of Dathomir comic, that story is kind of outlined for you and gives you those missing information that you're, to kind of bring the whole timeline together now. That'll show his relationship with Rook Cass in this season, and why she's pretty much his general, his right hand person. and she's one of the few people Maul allows to actually like give her feedback and like talk back to her, because he doesn't allow that to happen with anybody else. So I'm really interested to see how this all goes and how this all unfolds. And like we were saying, parts of it are shot like almost like a horror movie from Devin Azara's standpoint of like, she's dealing with her own struggles of being on the run from Order 66 and with her master and like what they should do, what they shouldn't do. And now she's almost going to have this devil on her shoulder with Maul and her master. So it's going to be like a tug of war between the two, and see how she gets influenced and see how Maul eventually will more than likely bring her to the dark side.
So question, with Talon, is this the first time we're seeing her in the shows?
So
as like an apprentice?
If Devin Azara ends up becoming Talon, yes, it will be the first time we've ever seen her in live action. Well, in any kind of media, basically outside of the comic books. George Lucas' original plan for the sequel trilogy before he sold everything to Disney was Darth Maul and Darth Talon being his apprentice, being the villains of the sequel trilogy, which would have made a much cooler sequel trilogy than what we got. But that was the original plan. So more than likely, because Dave has said that a lot of what George had planned is going to be built into this show, I'm guessing that's the route we're going to go, is that Devin's going to eventually be tempted and turned, and then she'll probably get tatted like Maul, and then she'll be Talon at that point, and then that will be her Sith name that she ends up picking. Remember how I said like that finale episode does not have a title? I wouldn't be shocked to see that finale episode be titled Talon, and that's why they're hiding it for us. Because I can see that being like the struggle, the whole season of will she or won't she, and then we get to that point where like Maul ends up getting her to kind of sink his teeth into her, and like, all right, now she's my apprentice. And I'm guessing if this all goes like the way I think it's going to go, I think she's going to become his apprentice at some point, sometime along the way. I don't think it's going to happen in this first season, obviously. As the show progresses and plays out, I think they're going to have a split or a disagreement where she's still out there, and then the events of Rebels unfold, where we see what happens to Maul, we see how he dies, and Talon is still somewhere out there, because that would be a perfect character again to bring in to the sequel trilogy, to be a part of the Rey story, to just be another Sith or Darksider that's out there that we can use. It's even possible that Mia Goth could be playing her in live action. Like, that's always a possibility from Starfighter. So, I mean, I think it's going to be cool. I think if that's what they're doing and they're introducing her, I think it's going to be pretty awesome.
It's almost like a retelling of, it sounds like a retelling of, with Anakin and, what was it? What are we, Obi? Yeah, kind of.
Him and Qui-Gon, you mean?
Well, yeah, him and Qui-Gon, yeah, because like you're saying, like he is Talon was Maul's apprentice, and then they have a disagreement, and she switches up on him, and they would go their own separate ways, and the only one left is them. So I'm thinking of it in the same sense of like Anakin and Obi. They had that disagreement mainly because of Palpatine, and then he switches up and turns into Darth. But
it's a little different because she'd already be a Darksider. Like, she'd already be to the dark side, and so is Maul. It's just basically
it's a dark side version, and then there was the Jedi version. Yeah. So
I just think it would be a shame to kill her in this story and just have her character like. You know what I mean? Especially because this Gideon Alden seems like a phenomenal woman. Like, I was listening to her interview. She's very into this character. She's got a very great voice. So, like, I'm really interested to see how this character is going to play out and how she's going to put life into this newly created character to make us all, like, care about her and to want to see how her story progresses. I'm just saying that I could see it going that way only because, again, I think you'd be leaving money on the table if you just kill her off in this show and just call it a day. Like, I think it would be fun to have her out there as another character. And the one thing everybody needs to, like, the rule of two, right? Maul is not part of the rule of two anymore. He's his own lineage, technically. So basically, it's a split sect of the Sith. Maul no longer considers himself a Sith. He's He even says that to Ezra when he meets
Yeah,
Ezra.
he's
Is
just
like,
Maul. He's just Maul. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
just Maul. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
There's no Darth in front of his name anymore. So that's what I'm interested to see is how they define him differently than Palpatine and Vader. And we're going to be seeing the Palpatine Vader dynamic more than likely involved in this show, because I would be shocked that Palpatine's not going to get involved knowing that Maul's back again. He's going to feel Maul's power when Maul gets another apprentice, because that's what drew him to kill Savage, was the fact that he felt Maul kill Satine, Duchess Satine, and in that moment, the Maul and Savage basically elevated themselves up to his level and in the power of the dark side. And that's what made Palpatine go to them and fight them in the duel, because he knew that if Maul continued to do what he was doing, Maul and Savage would actually grow more powerful than Palpatine himself and eventually Vader. So man, there's so many like little nuances that could have changed the whole fluctuation of how Star Wars goes, and it's really cool to see them like flushing this out with this show. I'm very excited about this show. It's the top of my list for things that I can't wait to watch, like especially from Star Wars. Like, this has been something I've been waiting for so long. I'm so happy for Sam Witwer to get this moment. I'm so happy for the whole creative team that put this show together. And I do know that a lot of people got screeners for the first 8 episodes. We're not that big of enough of a podcast yet to get the first 8 episodes. But Star Wars, if you're listening and you want to send us those episodes, I will gladly, we will review them. We will talk about them.
Trust.
But from everything I've heard about those first 8 episodes is that the show is phenomenal. And basically, like, it just starts and has you hooked from the moment, it starts and just continues. So I'm very excited about this. I can't wait to watch this. We're recording this on Sunday night, so the episodes come out Monday. We're still going to figure out how we're going to do this. Maybe we're going to change our day to record, so this way we can cover the Maul episodes currently. But me and Ande will talk about that off stream.
Hey, we'll figure it out for you for sure. Don't worry.
Yeah. So, did you want to say anything else about Maul before we go into our next topic?
No, I'm just ready for Maul. Like, I'm ready for it. I'm speechless at this point.
Well, now going into our quick hit section, you got to see Super Mario. So, what did you think of the new Super Mario?
So for the most part, it was a really fun movie. I definitely would say though I did like the first one a lot more better. The way I could describe this movie is like you're going to Universal Studios for a Mario ride, and it feels just like a ride, as a roller coaster ride in real life, because you are going from one part of the movie, seeing these different references and these different scenes and things of that nature, and then out of nowhere you are going to the next and the next and next, and it's just like the plot is just all over the place. But if you're a fan of the series and just Mario in general and Nintendo really in general, you will be like in heaven to the most part, because you're seeing all these different references, these people and things, and it was a good time overall. But yeah, like I said, I enjoy the first one more better, mainly because it did have more of a put together story. Um, the comedy of it too was a little bit more like funny. Like, we had that in the first one. We had that like that Peach song that Browser had. We didn't have a song of that nature in this one, so that was kind of a bummer in a way. But I mean, what do you expect from a kids movie, honestly? But it. It did what it needed to do for me. And
I did hear a lot of the same sentiments that you like echoed. I've heard that from a lot of the people that saw like the reviews for it, or that went and saw it and then put out reviews. I had heard that the first one was much more better as far as like a lot of people were concerned, story wise. Do you think they're leading to like a Super Smash Brothers like crossover with all of them, like Donkey Kong and Star Fox and all of that?
So that's the thing, right? I've been hearing this, right? And in the movie, I'm trying to put things together and how that can be, because through reviews and what people were saying, they were making that narrative sound more truer than what I think it is. Because from what I see, I don't. I don't see a Smash Brother movie coming. Yeah, they did kind of do like they okay. So yeah, we get Fox in here, right? And they are introducing new characters, so there is gonna be another movie
Mhm.
because that's just how the movie ends.
Yeah, yeah.
But um I didn't see the Smash element basically. Like I just didn't see how that can be a thing. They
Was
need
Donkey
to
Kong in
add.
this one again?
No, he was in the first one, but they referenced
Yeah.
him. They did say his name
Okay.
in this movie.
Okay.
But
Like Seth Rogen
but
played him
yeah,
in the first one, I think, right?
and I think that's also probably another reason why I like the first one better because out of all the Nintendo stuff,
You
Donkey
like
Kong is my
Donkey Kong?
jam. So
Yeah, yeah,
yeah.
yeah. I can see that.
So
Yeah,
yeah
I'm
it
here
was a
for
good
it.
time though. Obviously, I would say one thing I would say is though I won't see it a second time. And if you can wait to see it when it comes out, maybe like on Peacock, because
That's
that's
what I'm gonna
where
do.
Mario One is on. Yeah,
Yeah.
that'd probably be the best bet, honestly, because I think
Yeah,
you
I'll
will
catch it
have
when
a
it comes
way
out.
more enjoyable time when it comes out on streaming. To be honest.
Yeah. It doesn't like even the first one. I didn't rush out to go see that. I waited till it hit Peacock and then checked it out. So I'll do the
Yeah.
same with this one. It
Hmm.
I was never a Nintendo guy. I even growing up, like I had a Sega and then I went to PlayStation. So like I was never a
Yeah.
Nintendo guy. Even
Hmm.
like yeah, I think the only Nintendo system I ever had was 64 and played GoldenEye and shit like that on it. Like I didn't even play Mario. So I
Yeah.
don't have like a big attachment to it, but I will check out the movie, you know, when it hits streaming for sure.
Yeah, I'm told I was it. I had Game Boys, Game Cubes, I actually didn't have a 64. That's the crazy thing. But I think I've had every Nintendo system except for a six. Obviously, the first Game Boy and a 64. Those are the only ones I never had. But other
I
than
like
that, I
this.
mean, I was up
I
there,
love the Nintendo store in New York. Like that's always a fun spot to go check
dude.
out and pop in.
Facts. Yeah.
But
Mm-hmm.
yeah, that's as far as like my love of Nintendo goes. So, uh,
Speaking of which, I got a Nintendo Switch. Everybody, I got a new Switch too. So I've been in a whole Nintendo heaven lately. So yeah.
I know we've been talking about the Sadie Sink stuff and her being confirmed as Jean Grey. I don't necessarily trust this source that reported this, so take
Yeah.
this with a grain of salt. But
Hmm.
so just to be frank, I never listen to the scoopers. If you're a scooper on Twitter, I don't trust your word for anything unless it comes from one of like a reliable sources like Jeff Snyder or you know somebody else in the entertainment industry that's actually a writer and does that for a living, not just somebody who tweets like random shit on the internet. So this comes from
Hmm.
my time to shine. Hello, they're usually wrong about 95% of the shit that they put out. It's just random garbage that this person just like throws out there all the time. So take this with a grain of salt. But they're reporting that Sadie Sink signed a 5-picture deal that includes TV appearances as well. And that she is going to be the centerpiece of the X-Men universe going forward. So how do you feel about that? Are you excited about that, you know, hearing this? And do you think like going with Jean as the centerpiece and building the X-Men around her is the way to do this?
Well, the first thing I'll say is like the whole thing with Sadie Sink and her being the Jean Grey has got to be the worst fucking Hollywood secret ever because it just doesn't make. It's just how that has been like the topic of conversation before the trailer came out and all that has just been it's been all over the place. As far as like how I feel about it, it's just like there her this is speak X-Men like she is a main part of the team but like she ain't the team to me at least the X-Men is a group so like for them to be leaning on her just being the centerpiece of all these different things to the X-Men is kind of just like I don't know. I'm not. It's not the best idea, I think, but it's also like there's so many other ways you can go about it. I feel like, and it's just it's crazy how they're banking on her for so much. Like,
So
I don't get it.
So I will say, to me, she was the best thing about Stranger Things. Her performance
Mm-hmm.
stood out,
Thanks.
especially the final season. She was the only
Mm-hmm.
character I gave a shit about the whole entire
Mm-hmm.
final season. Her and the other
Mm-hmm.
younger girl who was part of the show.
Right.
I would
Same.
I would I would love if there's a way that they can get that actress involved in like the X-Men 2 to have Sadie Sink and her kind of paired together again, because that other younger actress, I don't remember her name from the Stranger Things, but she was phenomenal
that's Eleven's
too.
sister.
I don't remember how she was related. She was the other little girl who like was trapped in the other world or whatever, with Sadie Sink. So
this guy's sister. I know who you're talking about. Yes. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I would love to see like them find a way to get her involved somehow. But I do think Sadie Sink was the best part of Stranger Things, especially towards that final season. So I'm interested to see her be in this role. I think she's gonna be a fantastic Jean Grey. She looks the part. I think she has the skills to play the part. My big thing, like I was saying, was there can be a couple older X-Men when you're putting this team together. Like if you wanted to have Storm and Wolverine and maybe Emma Frost be a little bit older than the rest of them, I'm fine with that. But I feel like you're going to need to cast like 21 to 25-year-old kids to go along with Sadie Sink. Like it's going to have to be that age range so you can keep this group together going forward. Like if you have her locked in for 5 movies going forward and you're going to build this whole X-Men universe like around this team, it's got to be people that fit with her. And like it's not a bad idea logically to say, all right, we're going to have her be Jean and we're going to build the X-Men around her. I'm cool with that.
Right.
It works. Right. Especially going from the comics of like, yeah, Jean was pretty much, well, depending on which comic, it's either Sage was the first X-Men student, which she was, but Jean was Charles' basically first pick. She was the first one that like Charles basically took in because Charles related to her so much because of his problems as a child.
They have the same powers almost.
So it'll be cool to see. I'm very interested to see like their plan for the X-Men and their plan for putting this all together, especially like if they're going to weave her from Brand New Day into Secret Wars, and then, you know, do we use the Phoenix in Secret Wars to some extent? Do we save the Phoenix for much later on and kind of build her story rather than jumping the gun? I don't know like which way they go with this and how it all like the dominoes fall.
I feel like we're gonna see the Phoenix at least by Secret Wars. Like
it was intentional that Femke Janssen is not coming back. Like she even said that like Marvel did not reach out to her about coming back for Doomsday. So it was kind of intentional that they already knew that like, hey, we have our gene and we're not going to confuse people by having multiple genes or doing anything. You know what I mean? Like they must have had this plan in place already, and hence why she's not coming back at all and being even from the Fox universe. You know what I mean? Yeah, but now, like, who do you cast this Cyclops to go with her? Because you have to have Cyclops be almost the same age as her, or close to it. And then what is the team that you build around her? Like, who were the other X-Men? Do you just do the OG5 and call it a day? Do you kind of build out a big team and then have like an ensemble cast that kind of can rotate in and out? I don't know. I don't know what the best course of action is, because if it was up to me, I would like a mix of characters maybe that we haven't seen before. I think if you just go with the OG5, it's cool, like great, but I feel like we need some other characters mixed in there to really like flush out this team, and going with like some new characters that like Lorna Dane, or, you know, people that we haven't seen in the movies before, people that we haven't seen like be a foundational X-Men member. I think you swing for that a little bit and try to, you know, Magic, Ileana, we talked about her being part of this team. Like, I think that's a no-brainer, is like elevate Magic to being a mainstream character across the board, because she's already there. She's got a comic book series. She's everybody's favorite in Marvel Rivals. Like, elevate Ileana Magic now to give her, make her be part
Magic
of this. And if Colossus, you know, like we can do that and change up this team so it's a group of 8 maybe, and we get a cool team put together rather than just like the OG5.
Yeah, that would be awesome. I really hope that maybe they can go with that. That would be dope.
Yeah, I think that would be the way to do it. Hopefully, you know, get a diverse cast, change it up a little bit, and you know, have some other characters be part of this. Speaking of X-Men 97 promo came out. We got our look at the new Funko Pops that came out, and we got our look at a design for a tote bag and t-shirts that shows all of the X-Men cast in these kind of awful outfits. I don't know. So this is what confused me about seeing this image and seeing these Funkos released. When we saw the trailer from New York Comic Con, none of these outfits were in this trailer. None of these looks were in that trailer. Wolverine was in his brown and yellow suit. In this promo art, he's Feral Wolverine, and that worries me. Did they go back in the time since Comic-Con and change this whole season 2? Like, that's what I'm really wondering. Like, did they really go back and just...
So supposedly when I forget the original showrunner's name. I think his name was Mark. Yeah, I was gonna say Mark DeMeo. Yeah, I was gonna say Mark, but okay.
When he got fired,
when he got fired, he said that they had about 97% of he did about almost 97% of season 2, and the rest of the half. The rest of the half was done by them.
Season 2 was completed by Bo DeMeo. He was on season 3. He was already writing episodes for season 3 and in that process.
Yeah.
He did say in his tweets that they were going to go back and rework some of his scripts for season 2, and that Age of Apocalypse and a couple of the other storylines he included were cut out from season 2 now. But I'm just speaking strictly about the trailer that we saw. Like none of these designs were in the trailer. So in just a year, in a little under a year, just from New York Comic Con, which was in October, that this is a whole new show now? Is that what we're talking about? Like, or are these just looks that we're going to see for the opening of the show, and then quickly they're going to change and you know?
Yeah, I felt like maybe towards the end, because the second half of the season, we might see more of them in these clothes. But I think that first half is mainly what that trailer was.
I hate the Feral Wolverine story. I fucking hate that story. That is one of the worst 90s stories ever in existence. And I never thought they would go that route. Like when I saw the design, I was like, you got to be fucking kidding me. They're going to do Feral Wolverine and like, fuck me. Like,
I hear you.
So I love seeing Lorna. I knew she was going to be part of this season. Her and Havoc are going to be part of the current day team. But yeah, otherwise, I didn't like any of the designs. All of them look really bad. Storm's actually looks kind of cool. She's just in like the blue and yellow, and then she's got like a brown cloak as her cape instead of like the normal stuff. But I had heard originally they were supposed to be in the Grant Morrison suits, and these are not the Grant Morrison suits. So I don't know. I'm very confused because, like I said, when we saw that trailer from New York Comic Con, we saw them in totally different looks than all of these looks. And different storylines that, according to these looks, aren't going to be involved. So I am very confused as far as like what they ended up cutting, what they ended up changing from season 2 now. And that worries me about this show. Like for all the wrongdoing Bo DeMeo did, he deserved to be fired. So let's just make that clear. But you had somebody who really loved the comics, really paid attention to the comics, brought all these storylines that we were probably never going to get into season 1 of X-Men. He captured exactly what X-Men was. He captured the essence of what the original show was from the 90s. I'm worried about, I don't know how many people from the past staff are still involved in this season 2. But seeing this stuff kind of makes me a little bit like, oh, are they going to fuck this up? Like, because the showrunner's gone? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And like I said,
and they don't have somebody as passionate behind it like we did.
And I agree, he should have been fired. He deserved to be fired for what he was doing and the things that were going on. But that's the unfortunate part is you lose somebody who's got a vision for how this should go.
I'm on the same page with you. Like that was the unfortunate part about it is the shit that he did was uncalled for, and it was you get what you ask for, you get what you get. But the thing about him that I really love is that he does really love these characters, and I think he depicted them in the way that X-Men fans have always wanted to see them.
Yeah,
but minus some other things that were unnecessary. But just as far as personality and the stories of connections between each characters, it was done like exponentially well. and I really hope that we don't, like we say, like we're saying, I really hope we aren't gonna lose that going forward in the seasons to come.
And I did hear Brad Winterbaum speak about how they want to get this, I guess, more on schedule to where this can release annually, just like Daredevil, where like now I guess they're already mostly done with season 3 or like working on season 3. So by the time season 2 comes out in the summertime, they'll already pretty much be wrapped on season 3, starting work on season 4, and that's going to be the plan. They did say that they want to keep this show going for as long as they possibly can. I just hope that it doesn't lose that quality that we had from season 1, because season 1 was so special. It was so perfect, in my opinion. There were some things that I would have liked to see drawn out more, especially the Madeline Pryor Goblin Queen storyline and Inferno. Like, I would have liked to see that maybe go 2 episodes or 3 episodes and really drag that out a little bit more, because that Inferno story is so good in the comics. So the fact that like we got bits and pieces of it and then just kind of zoom through it all in one episode, I'm fine with it, because we got so much other content that they called to, the Genosha stuff from New X-Men and stuff that's like that they're following the timeline of the actual X-Men comics. Like, they took storylines that happened in the late 90s and storylines that happened in the early 2000s, and like that's what this show is. So like if you're following the timeline, you would be going to those stories. So I'm hoping that they can keep that same magic. I'm hoping they don't lose, what this show encompassed, and can keep that going forward, because to me that's the heart of the show, and the fact that the original showrunners are so involved in this too. I hope that's
that's right, they welcome back.
Yeah. So Mandalorian is coming out. We're getting some more promos slowly for this.
Ironic, right? It is coming out, guys. Like,
so I've seen the toys now in the store. They're not really moving. They're kind of sitting on the shelves a lot. I don't think a lot of people still know that a new Star Wars movie is coming. The ironic thing though is I'm seeing Pedro Pascal do a lot of interviews for this movie, and yes, I get it. He voices the character, but he was on set for not even a week. He was filming Avengers Doomsday after this movie. So he showed up on set. He did his week or so on set for Mandalorian and then took off to go film Doomsday. Brendan Wayne and Lateef Crowder are the two individuals that play Mandalorian. Brendan Wayne is the grandson of the great John Wayne and is the person who's in the Mandalorian armor all the time. Lateef Crowder is the stuntman who does all the stunts in the Mandalorian suit. So it bothers me just slightly that neither of those actors get the credit that they deserve for bringing this role to life. I did see Brendan Wayne doing some interviews on his own, but the fact that like they do all of the work and get none of the credit, I'm kind of not big on that aspect of things.
Yeah, but I get that too, but that's also the name of the business too, because
I understand
they should, but I feel like they know going into this, like, we are just the stunt people at the end of the day. So
I feel,
but they can speak on it, because I would like to hear that perspective. Like, from the not the actor and the celebrity ishness of the, I would like to hear from the person who is doing the stunts. So yeah, I feel you on that part too.
I just feel like if Disney's going to use Pedro Pascal because they think he's going to sell this movie, he's not. Unfortunately, I'm sorry. Like that's not. You can have him out here. You can have him doing all the interviews and saying all the right things. But like, let's be honest. I think people are kind of sick of Pedro Pascal at this point, because we've seen him in everything for the past year and a half.
Yeah.
Every big movie, every big franchise, every big role. So and that's not meant to be disparaging. It's just the fact of like we only want to see these, like, you can only watch so many movies with the same person in it before you're just like, all right, I need to see somebody else in the role. I need to see somebody else out here.
Yeah.
For me, I feel like if you're doing billing of this movie and you're putting on the poster Pedro Pascal, Sigourney Weaver, I feel like Brendan Wayne and Lateef Crowder should have that billing right there next to those two celebrities. That's my opinion. Brendan Wayne does all the work. Lateef Crowder does all the stunts. They're the ones in the suit. They're the ones playing the character and doing pretty much everything. Pedro just comes in when they need him to take off the helmet and then does the voiceover work. So
I think, to me, I feel like Disney is fucked, kind of messed up on on the promotion side from the beginning, and the fact that we didn't get that really big spot in Super Bowl was a really like serious L, because you could have really ramped the hype for this movie on in the biggest stage where we see these commercials and things of that nature, and now we're getting to like the very end of the promotional end, and now we're starting to see more and things of that nature, and I just feel like I don't feel like it's on any of the actors. I feel like this is all Disney's fault. That the fact that you, like you said, there's toys in the store still, and people are not noticing that there's a new Mandalorian movie coming out, a show that is so beloved based off of just the fact that there's a baby Yoda and stuff, and people are not like into that. Like I don't understand it. It's the weirdest like marketing move I've ever seen the company do, to be honest.
And,
so
and that's
like,
what that's how they're marketing it. They're just like, here's Grogu, go see this movie. And it's like, I'm sorry, that's not how this works. Like you have to make people interested and look at.
But
look
a lot of people go crazy just because it's Yoda, it's Baby Yoda. So everybody's like, yeah,
I would argue the opposite, because look at this Maul series. They've been putting out trailer after trailer. They've been promoting the shit out of this show, and I think a lot of people are very excited. There's good word of mouth. There's good excitement around this show. With Mandalorian and Grogu, nobody still knows what this movie is even about. Nobody has any idea, like, who's actually the villain? What is actually the plot of this movie? What is the point? What is making me want to go see this movie, other than like, oh, here's Grogu, here's Baby Yoda, go crazy and go see this movie because of it. It's two very different, stark strategies. And like you said, they missed their opportunity by showcasing it on the biggest stage in the world, that, hey, we have a new Star Wars movie coming out. Star Wars means, everybody should be at the movie theater regardless. But again, there's no lightsabers in this movie. It's just, a guy that you're just like, oh, he kind of looks like Boba Fett if you've never seen the Mandalorian show, and like, oh, here's a little Yoda. Does this take place before the are we watching like a story of a baby Yoda, an actual baby Yoda? Because I know a lot of people who still think Grogu is a baby version of Yoda, and don't realize that, no, this is after Yoda already died. So it's to me, it's going to be a very interesting thing to see what this movie actually does, how it goes, and I don't know. I even asked my friend today. I said, hey, do you want to see Mando and Grogu with me? And he's like, fuck no. He's like, I'm not even going to waste my time. And like, he's somebody who's watched all 3 seasons of Mandalorian, but he hated the last season of Mandalorian. So for him, like, that turned him off to and even wanting to see the movie at this point. So, and that's just one example. I know a lot of people who kind of feel the same, of like, no, I never watched the show, I don't really care. Like, and that's unfortunate.
Yeah, it is.
A show that you were big on, Avatar: The Last Airbender, officially announced that June 25th, season 2 will be dropping. Season 3 is already shot and completed. So the show is already done and over with. Basically, we're just going to get it back to back now. So I like that they're going to get out season 2, and then we'll have season 3, not too far behind it.
Yeah, I'm excited to see this. I'm ready to see what they do with Toph, and show her whole origins and stuff like that. One of my favorite characters, the Earth Kingdom in general is my favorite. So just to see this on live action is going to be great. What I also like about Netflix is that when they take these shows, like with One Piece and like with this, they do take all of them and they condense them in a way where you can, like, we're watching like 5 episodes and just 1 episode. So like, it's I really like that aspect. So for viewers who've never watched like the cartoon, to come in and watch it like that, and then maybe want more and go ahead and watch the original, is dope, to get the viewership on the original and people to like get familiar with it and stuff like that. So I'm excited for it, and I'm ready.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it as well. I really loved the first season of it. I thought it was phenomenal. So I'm really excited about, seeing how this is all going to progress and seeing it in live action. Like, for me, like I said to you, the animation for the original series was a little tough for me to watch because I just don't like anime styled stuff.
Yeah.
It's just visually not appealing to me. So like to see
Yeah.
this live action and see it play out and see it played out with actors and actresses that
Hmm.
I like, I'm more invested in the live action show than I was, trying to watch the animated one.
Facts. Fun fact, in the city where I live, Reading, Pennsylvania, in the original Avatar movie, the one that sucked, that was really bad. The pagoda scenes were filmed here at the pagoda that is like the like monument of like the whole city basically.
Okay.
And like I remember back in the day when they would then like the camera crew and stuff would be here for that, so like every time I see the pagoda in that movie, I haven't watched that
You
movie
think
in
of that.
years, but I think
Yeah.
I'd say to myself that's the actual pagoda that like anywhere in the city where you're at, you can look up into the mountains and you see that pagoda, and that's like
Okay.
the monument for like the city. So like when you
Yeah.
see that, you just think of it. I just think, oh wow, that's what Aang learned how to be an avatar.
They also showed off a trailer for Backrooms. Are you familiar with this? Did you see
No,
this
I
trailer,
did
or are
see
you
the
familiar with like the
trailer.
backstory?
I don't know anything about Backrooms. I did see the trailer. I think it's an
Okay.
A24 film, so I'm
Yep.
interested off of that. So yeah, put me on.
So this whole thing originated from a kid who's actually way younger than us. I want to say he was 16 or 17 at the time, doing these as YouTube shorts that he was putting out on YouTube. Basically, they got so many millions of views on these YouTube shorts about Backroom. Basically, the whole premise is like an almost like an alternate dimension. So basically, like this movie, for instance, it's a furniture store, and in the basement, this guy stumbles across this back room, this door that appears out of nowhere, and he walks in, and it's basically infinite space, and it's empty. So like it's all psychological. It's very like trippy and like holy fuck, like what
Hmm.
is this back room? What is here? And so this kid actually, because of how successful his YouTube shorts were, that they actually signed him to a deal and have him directing this movie. So like it's literally like an 18-year-old kid who like wrote and directed this movie and came up with it, which is kind
Oh
of
wow.
wild to think.
Yeah.
But apparently with the success of those shorts, like they got millions and millions of views. I think one of them has like over almost 10 million views on it. So like
Mm.
they were shot almost like part found footage cam, like almost like Blair Witch style, part,
Yeah.
like actual shots. So you kind of switch back and forth between like the handy cam footage or like the cell phone footage and like the regular camera work. But it is
Mm.
supposed to be almost like an M. Night Shyamalan, like trippy kind of what is the
Kind of
premise of this when you
like a
watch
Black
it.
Mirror type thing.
A little bit. It's more so like Black Mirror more so focuses on technology that's like currently being invented and like the
Hmm.
the downfalls of it. This is more so just like a psychological thing, like a psychological thriller. And the guy who played Baron Mordo, or from Doctor Strange, he's gonna be the one like as the main character in this.
Hmm.
So I forget his Chetway something is his name, I think. Um,
Yeah, I know what
so
you mean.
I'm interested to see because like the trailer does look kind of fucking
I
cool.
want to see these skits on YouTube. I'm looking that up as soon as we get off to see what
Yeah,
that's about.
I've never like so my friend Laura actually put me on to like the backroom stuff. She had seen the shorts and she had sent me the trailer for this when it came out, and she was like, "Let me know what you think." Like after watching the trailer, and I was like,
Yeah.
"This looks like wild." So like like I said, it kind of gives me that M. Night Shyamalan feel where like the concept might be better than the actual ending of the movie or the explanation. Like the idea itself is kind of trippy and out there, and then like however they resolve it or however they explain it might not be cool. Like you might be
Hmm.
like, "Oh, that was kind of fucking dumb" when it's all said and
Hmm.
done. But
Right, right, right.
it's got that potential, I guess, depending on how it all plays out and like how it goes. But yeah, I've never
Hmm.
checked out the shorts myself either, so I just know, the backstory of, because I remember it going viral and I remember seeing like people talking about it and tweeting about it like when it was happening.
Interesting. Yeah, interesting stuff.
So
I gotta look into it.
Speaking about like horror stuff, Zach Kreger, who did Weapons
Yes.
and those
Yes.
other movies, Barbarian, he is working on a Resident Evil project, a live action Resident Evil. I'm not sure if it's going to be a movie or if it's going to be a TV show, but we were talking about it a couple weeks ago, like when the Resident Evil game came out.
Yeah.
I'm dying for somebody to like nail Resident Evil in live action, whether it's a TV or a movie series. Like I
Mm-hmm.
need you to stick to what the premise of the game is. Like I need to see Leon, I need to see Claire, I need to see those characters. Like with the Mia Jovovich stuff years ago, like you focused on Alice, you did the whole story with her with all those movies, and it just got tiresome. Like I want to see the actual characters from the game kind of get focused and on and kind of get flushed out, and hopefully like that's what it is. From what he was saying, he's really leaning into the horror aspect of it and like
Yeah.
really wants it to be scary and like make you jump out of your seat and make you like wonder what's around the corner as you're watching,
Mm-hmm.
you know, the movie.
I heard
So
that. So this movie has been in the works for I think a little bit now, because at one point the script was leaked, but from what the
okay.
script was says, when people read it, they loved it, and everybody has been it's got good reviews off of it. So the other thing too is that like I don't think this is gonna be I don't think we're gonna get those characters as main characters in the movie. I think this is gonna be a separate like uh like it's gonna be its own movie, not having like those different characters in it. But I mean, it will be
Okay.
in the Resident Evil universe. So like
Yeah.
you'll hear
Yeah.
them talk about the Umbrella Corps and Raccoon City and things like that. So like so that would be interesting. I always thought the Resident Evil movies were more to me. I always thought they were more interesting that way, because you get like another story in the Resident Evil
Mm-hmm.
universe. So I mean, it's always dope to get somebody to get a cameo. I'm never not down for a cameo in Resident Evil, but I like to hear the different stories where this is going, because of the video games. Recently I went down the rabbit hole of like figuring out like where are we right now in the video game universe, which is like the main universe,
Mm-hmm.
and it's been pretty fucking interesting, and it actually hasn't lost its connective tissue since the begin since when I
Yeah.
got
Yeah.
into it in 4. But I dropped off a little bit because it felt confusing, but I read up on it, and it's actually never lost this touch.
Yeah. And see
But
that
yeah,
that's
I'm
what I would
excited
like
for
to see.
this. I'm
I would like
excited
to
for
see.
this because of the fact that it's a whatchamacallit, it is from Weapons, and the director who created Weapons, and Weapons was almost damn near like a zombie movie to it to an extent. And so I can see how he can add those elements into a Resident Evil movie,
Yeah.
and it's gonna be insane.
Yeah, I like I said, for me, I kind of would rather see more of the characters that we know from the game series. Like I think I don't know. I think you're doing a disservice by like changing all of that because regular people don't know anything about the games. Like people who've never played a Resident Evil game might know the movie but never played the game. So like I don't know. I feel
Mm-hmm.
like you can go either way with it, but I feel like so far a lot of the people who have done like original stories like the Resident Evil series that was on Netflix and the CG series that was on Netflix, like they're all just kind of lame shows like at the end of the day because there's no you don't have like your main hero that you're focusing on. You don't have it's just like a random group of people doing this like random thing in Raccoon City and I don't know. For me that kind of doesn't
Yeah.
make it any different than any other zombie thing. Like Walking Dead made it tough for the zombie genre, in my opinion. Like if even Last of Us like suffers from the
I know.
same thing. It's like I watch Last of Us and I feel like I'm watching Walking Dead, and it's just like I'm not interested in this anymore because I saw Walking Dead do all of this already. You know what I mean? Like
Right.
you're
Right.
repeating the same beats. You can only do so much with a zombie thing unless you're like the Bone Temple and like you know those zombie movies where they've like changed things and tried to tweak some of the lore to make it more interesting. So yeah, I don't know. I'm interested to see, but with Zach Kreger being involved, I am more interested in seeing like how it all plays out. And
Thanks.
speaking of Zach Kreger and weapons, Amy Madigan, best supporting actress winner for the Oscars. She is getting her official spinoff for Weapons. So I'm guessing they're going to go into her origin story of, I guess how she became a witch, how old she actually is. My guess would be Amy Madigan would be playing her more currently, and we'd probably get somebody different playing her younger. Um,
Yeah.
I am interested in this though. I liked Weapons.
Mm-hmm.
That was my one kind of gripe about Weapons is like we got no explanation of her, no backstory, like anything as
Mm-hmm.
to like what she actually is or the whole premise of that. So the fact that like he's gonna focus on a whole movie about her is kind of cool to me. And to see Amy Madigan come back, like her performance was phenomenal in the movie. So
Mm-hmm.
to see her get to come back, I'm here for it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the thing with Weapons is that I always felt like it moved really quickly, and in your first watch, you're trying to like understand each person's scenario until it gets to the end, and you just see what happens. But yeah, to see when she came on screen, she was terrifying. So like to finally to get a spin-off on her character will be dope as well. Yeah, I can't I'm excited to see what they do with that. And I don't even like horror movies like that. So to me to be excited for that is saying something.
I see. I'm a big horror person. I like a lot
Mhm.
of horror stuff. We'll talk about in the What Are You Watching later on in the show. I'll talk about a horror series that I just watched. But
Nice.
yeah, I'm here for it. I'm looking forward to seeing what they end up doing with this and how it's all going to play out. And I'm wondering like since Barbarian and Weapons kind of tie in together, I'm wondering like if he's going to do something even further to tie like Amy Madigan into Barbarian and so forth. Like it
Mm-hmm.
should be interesting to see how he like continues to build out this little universe that he's created so far.
Back. Yeah, I can't wait.
It's time for one of our favorite segments, comics of the
It's
week.
comics
So,
of the week.
so what was your comics of the week this week?
So no brainer here for everybody who saw my my blind bag episode
How many
on my
blind bags did they
Instagram.
get you for? How many?
They could have got me for more, but I was a smart boy, and I only got one. So I'll show
Okay.
the one again. It was this cover right here, and then
Okay.
I also got the original cover right here as well.
Okay.
So yeah. But not only that, I did get this one. I also did get the new Batman All In,
hmm
and I did pick up something else. Like, why can't I think of it right now? I don't
So
know. But
how
anyways,
I did not pick up the Daredevil issue. Shout out to Stephanie Phillips though. I'm very excited for her to be able to get this
yeah.
opportunity to write this
Mm-hmm.
comic. She's a fantastic writer. I'm a big fan of her work. So what did you think about like this Daredevil series? I know it's not technically a number one, but it's essentially a number one because it's starting
Mm-hmm.
pretty much with a whole
Yeah,
new
so this
crew.
is basically, I mean, this first one really is introducing to the Daredevil, the character in general.
Okay.
And then right at the very end, they implement the villain of this all, and it's supposedly somebody that knows him and is like trying to cut him off, trying to like warn him about something that's going to be happening in his future. And
Okay.
Matt is thinks he kind of looks like a combination of like if Muse became a part of the Hand. So like to see him in this see that like visually your brain already starts working and thinking like, "Ooh, who can this be?" And then another element that they added to this is that Matt is a professor at, I think, like NYU or something like that. But and that also makes me think of like the
Teaching law, right?
MCU universe. Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
he's teaching law. So it makes me think about the MCU universe, and we see Bruce doing what he's doing in Spider-Man. I would not be surprised if they bamboozle us again and they put him in this in this and in that same school, and that's how we get that connection with Daredevil. But I mean,
hmm
that's a great that's another reckless speculation right there. So so we will see what happens. But overall, though, I like the beginning of this. It was fun. The art, I think was really amazing. Same guy who does the art in the Chip Zdarsky stuff. I think his
hmm
name is Frank Martin. Um and And it's just a fun ride. Daredevil is just like the topic of like all my comics and just like
Yeah,
my
you're a
soups
big
right now.
Daredevil guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we got the show and this coinciding with each other is great. I loved it.
Yeah,
I want to
I
get into that Batman one, but I haven't got there
I
yet.
I did hear that they did change their blind bag policy now after this because a lot of people were pissed that they were pulling cover A's out of the blind bag. To me, that was
Mm-hmm.
always like a head scratcher of like, why are you gonna
Yeah.
put the common cover in the blind
Mm-hmm.
bag and just basically
Right.
rob people? So
Uh-huh.
I stayed away from this.
Uh-huh.
I'm not as big of a Daredevil fan as you. Like I
Yeah.
like when he's in other books, but reading a
Mm-hmm.
solo from him, not something I needed to do, although I might go back and pick it up simply just because of Stephanie Phillips. Like,
I
I
was
think
just
she's
about to say that.
fantastic.
Yeah. Yeah, because she really makes the comics really fun. Like I just finished
Yeah.
reading Planet Hulk, and I did start her Gwen Stacy run as well, but
Mhm.
I didn't finish it. But the Planet Hulk was just it's just fun. Like she has a way of
Yeah.
making the comics very fun, and it's just a good time.
Yeah. And she's absolutely beautiful, too, by the
That's a fact.
way. Did you have anything else for this week that you read that you wanted to talk about?
Well, like I'm getting into this, but I just didn't get to finish it. That's all.
Yeah. So I have it right here. It is my comic of the week. Another fantastic issue in this run. Poison Ivy is the mayor of New York City or of Gotham City now, and that's kind of tying over into her new status quo in her book that I think it was last week was like her big inaugural issue as the becoming the mayor. Basically Vandal Savage works out a deal with her to persecute Batman. So now the city is going to be hunting down Batman with Vandal Savage's new task force, and it's going to lead eventually to Barbara Gordon being arrested and put in jail, which will start her new series that's coming. So I think it's the next issue of Batman that we'll see, what happens with Barbara, how she gets caught, and then her series will start Barbara Gordon Outbreak or Prison Break, whatever it's going to be called. So uh, I'm liking how they're doing this. I'm loving the art for this. The art for this book is just absolutely fantastic. And it was interesting to see Alan Scott Green Lantern appear in this. Batman basically goes to him for advice and asks him about Vandal Savage. So even though Batman has like encountered Vandal and beaten him with the Justice League, he's kind of looking for more information as to like how to take Vandal down and why Vandal Savage would be like taking this much of a personal thing to go after Bruce Wayne. And that's kind of how this story is like flushing out, and it's been really cool so far. So I'm very interested to see how it's going to continue to go. Batman and Static Shock Beyond, another
Yeah,
great
I wanted to
issue with
get that.
this. This is really
Mhm.
like the best version of Static Shock I've ever seen. I also really
Yeah, that's
love
a fact.
seeing Terry. It's just really cool. It's really great to see these two together, and the I would like to see more of the future Justice League incorporated in this. They're part of the story, but they're not like the main characters. Static and Batman Beyond Terry are pretty much like the main focal points, while the rest of their Justice League is out in space like negotiating. So it would be cool to kind of see them all back together and kind of really get like more of that future Justice League. But it's been a
Hmm.
cool series so far. I don't know if this is ongoing or if this is going to end soon. I kind of have a feeling like it's going to end pretty soon. But if not, I'm here for it. I'm going to continue to pick it up. And last but not least, we got X-Men. Um, Jed McKay. Again, I've talked about X-Men. While I enjoy this team very much, I enjoy the dynamic of this team. I enjoy the way they're written. I enjoy the way they interact with one another. We're still not really going anywhere with the X-Men.
Ay, ay, ay.
This book just continues to kind of stall and stall and stall. And like I was saying when we had our X-Men discussion a couple weeks ago, there's so many storylines that have been introduced so far from the beginning of this series that have not been resolved yet. And like it just kind of feels like we keep introducing new things and keep introducing new storylines, but we don't tie up any of the loose ends from the previous ones. So I'm sticking with these books. I want to stick with these books because I'm an X-Men fan, but if nothing happens in these books eventually, I'm gonna have to drop them. And that's the unfortunate part, is like I've always been. So the two books that I never have dropped from my pull list are Spider-Man and X-Men. Those are the two books that, for as long as I've been reading comics, good, bad, or indifferent, I pick up the books because those are my characters.
Right.
And I'm just getting to the point where, like, I need something to happen with this book. I need a resolution to some of these storylines, and I need to kind of get something bigger than what we're getting. And we discussed X-Men United is not it for me personally. I'm not going to pick up second issue. I do not care what happens in that book going forward. So if that's going to be your main focal point X-Men book going forward, then, like, I'm sorry, you're not doing it for me. There was one other book that I picked up, and it's not. I would not recommend picking this book up to anybody. I'm usually the biggest Kevin Smith fan. I go to his movie theater in Atlantic Highlands. I really usually love all of the stuff that he writes. His Daredevil, Black Cat, Spider-Man story is one of my favorite Daredevil stories and Black Cat stories ever in existence. The Evil That Men Do. If you find it on Amazon, I highly recommend picking up that trade because it's absolutely fantastic. His Batman stuff is absolutely fantastic. This was Bizarro Year Run, and I was expecting a Bizarro book. I thought we were getting like an origin story of Bizarro, and I don't know what this was. I literally read it front to back, and when I got to the end of the issue, I was like, why did I pick this up?
I almost picked that up too.
So I think
because I
part of it,
saw Bizarro. It looked like
yeah.
All-Star Superman at first. So that's why I was like, is this continuation
I
of that?
thought this was just going to be a one-shot. I thought this was just going to be a one and done. Like, that's why I picked it up, because I was like, all right, Kevin Smith writing a Bizarro origin story. Yeah, why not? Let's give it a shot. I only had like 4 books this week anyway, so I was like, might as well grab it. Then I saw, like, no, this is going to be a mini, and it's going to go on for a couple issues, and I do not recommend picking this up. My last iteration of Bizarro that we have seen in DC continuality, we saw Bizarro being part of Red Hood and the Outlaws. That was part of the Rebirth era. He was packaged as part of that team. Bizarro went through a lot of growth. We actually got to see some character development with the character, and I really loved it. This is not that same iteration of the character. This is a very weird iteration of the character, and I don't understand how this is like an origin year 1 book. So I'm sorry, Kevin, you're a Jersey guy. I love you to death, but I can't recommend this book to anybody. I have to spare anybody from even wasting their time reading it. But yeah, those are my comics. Batman for me definitely was the top book of the week. I'm loving that series. Fraction is absolutely killing it. George Jimenez on art is just phenomenal. So yeah, I'm looking forward to what's going to continue with this story, and how Bruce is eventually going to take down Vandal Savage and like take the city back, because that's where we're going with this. But I feel like they're really going to draw that out for a while.
Yeah, I can't wait to get into it. I didn't get time to, but I got it. So, yeah.
So now it's time for our other segment. What are we watching? So what are you watching this week, or what have you watched?
I could not wait to talk about this. So you haven't been a fan of it, but Invincible currently is out right now, and this last episode right now.
I'm not a fan of it. I just have not watched it.
Well,
I've not
sorry, yeah,
I've
you
just
haven't
got
to
watched the show. Yeah.
Well, we just got to the scene where Mark, and Oliver and Omni-Man come back, and they re-meet Conquest, who has been one of this is like the army of people who are like that are like Invincible and are his people, the Verndamites.
Yeah.
He is like the big bad of one of the big bads of them all, and he almost killed Invincible last season. So we just got them fighting again right now, and the animation and the fighting that they're doing is insane. Like they almost put Mortal Kombat fatalities to fucking bed with the shit that they do in this show. because oh my god, I'm just sitting there. I'm like, how are they still fighting? Like you are. I don't want to spoil it for people, but like it is insane the type of shit that they are doing, and they're still going at it. So
So
definitely
so
that
this
was
season's
like
been
my show.
good
Yeah.
so far. You've been enjoying this so far.
Yeah, yeah. Because they're winding down. The season, the whole series is about to end soon. So like right now, we're getting like the hype stuff that most people talk about when you speak about Invincible. So
And see, I can't wait for it to be over because once it's over, it means it's time for the boys, and like that's what I'm looking forward to. This is the boys. I can't
yeah.
wait for that to see that final season.
hmm Yeah, so I was really hype on that, and then obviously we had Daredevil, and then that's pretty much it. Oh, then I've been also been watching Shrinking, which has been
Great show.
it's really
Yeah.
like a therapy session every time I watch it, and this season has just been way too close to home that it's making me watch it because I'm actually learning from it too. Um,
Have you been watching Monarch?
Oh my God, dude. Like
I have not.
I
So
love that show in the
I just
beginning
yeah
and I dropped it because it
yeah
was just like it's more of the same. Like that
okay.
character, the Chinese girl, like daughter, she really ruined the show for me because she's always freaking complaining about stuff. And it's the same, it's things that I don't really care about what you're saying. And the back and forth stuff, like where they go from future to past, is cool. But I really wish they would just stay in the past. Like I really
Yeah,
wish
I
they
do
would stay in
too.
the past because I like that history. I like the actors that are in the
Yeah, like
past.
Wyatt. I like
Mm,
seeing Wyatt Russell way more than
mm,
seeing his father and dealing with
mm-hmm.
all that. I just have not gotten around to watching any of this season. I keep hearing that like it's much better than season one, but
It is,
I just have not tuned in to
but
any of
yeah,
it. Just simply not because I don't want to, just simply it's just hasn't been like a priority for me to check out.
yeah. I checked in on it the other day to see where I was left off, and I'm on episode 4. I've only
Okay.
seen 1, 2, 3, and yeah. But that's pretty much everything I've been watching
Okay,
that
so
I've been
I
really
checked
paying attention.
over the last couple of days, I watched Something Very Bad Is Going to Happen on Netflix. It's a horror show that just came out. It's all set around a woman who goes to, she's about to get married to her longtime boyfriend and fiance. And the whole premise is like going to her boyfriend's house and his family to get married. And it's in this little town. It's out in the middle of nowhere. The first couple episodes start off with like it being very much a horror show. You're not sure what's going on. It's kind of creepy. There's some weird shit going on. And then the show takes like a weird left where like it goes from being like a horror show to more so
Mm-hmm.
like revolving around like this curse, and you see like this backstory of this girl and her mom and her the way she was born, and like it all kind of unfolds. And for me, this would have been like, I like the show. The girl who everybody keeps saying is Dua Lipa. It's not Dua Lipa. It's a different actress. She's great. She is absolutely beautiful. She puts on a great performance throughout the whole entire show, and like she's what kept me intrigued in the show overall. Her and the brother of her fiance. He's a very like cool character who like starts off as like a weird douchebag that you think like he's the weird one doing this shit, and then he ends
Yeah.
up being like her biggest ally and like supporter in the whole entire show and becomes like her co-star essentially. um
Mm.
it unfolds very weird. It's 8 episodes, and I feel like if this was a movie and like we progressed through this as like a 2 hour movie, it would have been a much better, package that way. But the fact that it's 8 episodes, probably when you get to episode 3 or 4 is when they do like the shift on you, and like it's no longer what you thought it was. It becomes like a different type of show. I feel like they kind of just drag it out then for like a good 4 episodes before we get to the
Mm.
finale, and then the something bad that is going to happen actually happens in the finale. um, but it's wild because like the whole thing could have been avoided from like the jump. Like once the girl finds out,
Right.
what the premise is and what's going on, she could have just packed her shit up and left, and like end of story, done. It's over. Like there's
Mm-hmm.
no more to it. So while it was a good show, I just like felt like it went on for too long. And had this been a movie, it would have been a much better condensed thing where they didn't have to like kind of bait and switch you a couple times. But it worth checking out. I also noticed that Netflix is getting like a huge influx of movies now. All of a sudden, like this week, they dropped like 20 new movies that like were movie theater movies. So like the new Karate Kid is up. I watched Venom: The Last Dance the other night because I had never seen the final Venom movie. Yeah, there was a bunch of different stuff that like they dropped in mass. So I'm wondering like who they did a deal with that they just got like this mass drop of movies coming in all of a sudden. But I'm interested to see like what other new stuff that's going to be hitting. And apparently all of the Warner Brothers stuff is going to be hitting Netflix, which I thought was weird. Like all the DC movies are coming to Netflix, but I don't know. It doesn't make sense. It almost makes me again lead to my conspiracy theory that David Zaslav and Ted Sarandos from Netflix are in a partnership to fuck over David Ellison and Paramount. Like it's giving me that vibe, and I kind of feel like that's the ultimate play from the two of them, because I thought that was so weird. Of like, so all of the DC animated movies and all of the DC live action movies are going to be on Netflix, like. Okay.
Yeah.
It's a flex.
That's crazy. That's a flex for sure. Yeah.
I'm interested to see like how that's all going to play out. But yeah, I'd recommend if you like horror stuff to check it out. It was a good watch. But overall for me, I got to the point where I was like, all right, come on, let's wrap it up. Like, let's get to the ending. Let's get to the one thing. I even think I might have skipped one episode because I was just like, all right, I just want to get to the end of this and I want to see how it ends.
I've been there before.
But yeah, overall, I'm always into horror stuff, so I'm always constantly like watching new stuff that comes out, even if it's bad. Because a lot of horror is like bad, but sometimes it's a good bad. So it's weird. Yeah. But that'll do it for this week's episode of TalkNSupes. I hope you guys enjoyed everything that we had to talk about. Like I said, please make sure to like, comment, subscribe. Leave us a 5-star review if you're on iTunes or Spotify. We're working on getting the video on Spotify. We're trying to figure out how we can do that. The way we upload the show hasn't given us that option yet, but we're working on it. Also trying to work on getting the video up on Apple Podcasts once that's available to do. So we're trying our best, but the main place you can go is YouTube /@TalkNSupes. That is our main YouTube channel now. You can find all of the video for the episodes there, as well as our shorts. And me and Ande were talking about maybe splitting up some other segments of this show, maybe our comics of the week, and putting them up as like a segment that you could just watch on YouTube and stuff like that. So we're kicking around different ideas. We're trying out different things to continue to get more people to listen to the show. But we really appreciate all the support and everybody tuning in every week.
Yep. Thank you guys. And this is TalkNSupes. So in that case,
peace.